Well, good morning and welcome to day one of our fasting. If you're like me, there's a little anxiety happening inside of you, along with maybe some excitement, a little fear, and maybe even some worry. As I was thinking about this first day of our fast, I was reminded of a verse of scripture that's found in 1 Corinthians chapter 9. It's verse 24, and it says this: "Don't you realize that in a race, everyone runs, but only one person gets the prize? So run to win." You know, as I was thinking about that, I was reminded of a story that happened to me years ago. There I was standing at the start of my very first 10K race. Now, for those of you who don't know what that means, I was about to run 6.2 miles along with 1,800 other people. As I looked around at the other foolish souls bouncing up and down in their shorts and multicolored running shoes, a thought suddenly climbed to the front of my mind. David, you've got zero chance of winning this race. For the first time in my life, I was overcome by the reality of my certain failure. It didn't matter how hard I tried. Suddenly, fear and anxiety began zapping my excitement, and my mind began quickly just jotting down a list of wonderful reasons why I should just quit and not even begin the race. Well, crammed in the middle of 1,800 other runners made my exit strategy pretty well hopeless. And before I could even worm my way through that sardine-packed group of participants, the gun sounded and the race began. So I took off. Well, believe it or not, I finished the race. I was about middle of the pack. But I can tell you, I'd been beaten by children, grandmothers, and even people in wheelchairs. Well, while the experience may have wounded my ego a bit, I learned an important lesson. The average runner is not competing against other runners, but against himself. As you stand at the start of this 21-day fast, you too have fears and anxieties welling up, and they may be trying to steal your own excitement. You too maybe you've developed a wonderful list of reasons why you don't even need to begin. But know this, you're not competing against other people, but you're competing against three primary villains that are vying to steal your victory. Those three enemies you're trying to defeat are self, religion, and Satan. The first and foremost enemy you're going to face is yourself. Self has as its main focus the whole fear of depriving itself. How could you treat me like this? Don't you realize how unhealthy this will be? Oh, and what about other people at work? You don't want to be seen as that kind of that religious nutcase, do you? Believe me, I've had self argue and bicker about every fast I've ever done. Your second enemy that you're going to face is religion. And religion is all about striving. Hey, do this and everyone will know how awesome of a Christian you are. You know that's the exact same attitude that the leaders in Jesus' day had. Those religious leaders wanted everyone to see how much they loved God, but the reality was that fasting never changed their prideful and arrogant heart. The final enemy you're going to face is Satan himself. I can promise you this, he will be continually conniving in an attempt to convince you to give up and just quit. Through the years and after many fasts, I've learned that the reason Satan wants me to give up in every fast is because he fears the spiritual power and freedom I'm going to be walking in following that time of fasting. So as you begin your fast today, remember the real competition you're facing